These days, it seems that every time you stop by to pick up any to-go item, they flip that tablet around and you're being shown the tipping options, despite minimal interaction with the cashier. As inflation has already risen to 6.5% this year, it's been a bit frustrating and confusing to most consumers as to why we are now being automatically prompted to leave a tip even if we're just picking up food or drinks through the checkout counter or a drive-thru. This certainly wasn't the case a year ago. As a matter of fact, more Americans now spend more on tipping than they have prior to the pandemic era. Tipping options now have gone up as high as 30%.
So you must be wondering what is causing this and how should you react to it? We'll try to break it down into a few points. Meanwhile, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video.
To combat inflation and the rising costs of operations, business owners find this strategy beneficial in so many levels. During hiring, the sentence "competitive hourly plus tips" sounds so much more attractive than just hourly. It also justifies providing employees with minimum wages and letting them live in an illusion of making so much more from tips.
It is also a great way to incentivize employees to provide better customer experience and potentially earn more income from tips. So it is a win-win situation for employers. Prior to the introduction of digital payment methods, tipping in the past was limited to tipping jars, dine-in restaurants, cafes, and home deliveries.
From a marketing point of view, it is a great way to create these whole new markets and sell these tablets by convincing business owners that it's a great tool to maximize money from customers and help with employees' compensation and labor costs.
As a US consumer, you must be wondering, where does this tip money go? Does it go directly to the employee who helped them? Does it go to the business owners who then uses them to boost the employee's pay? Do they deduct a percentage of these tips towards operations? Is there a tipping cap? It just feels like there's no fine print of where this money is actually going.
There are now reports that some businesses already introduced tipping options at self-checkout stations in airports and as well as stadiums. This only means that more businesses are reporting more and more success in collecting tips. All of this could lead to what we call a tipping fatigue.
So what exactly is a tipping fatigue?
Tipping fatigue is a phenomenon of paying less tips due to a combination of high inflation, post-pandemic stress, and the amount of times consumers are being asked to tip on a daily basis.
Let's get this straight. Tipping is a great way to reward employees for providing exceptional service. I'm personally guilty of it, and I will always tip when I receive exceptional service. But it shouldn't get to a place where your decision to tip or not would affect the level of service you are receiving, especially in places where their minimal human interaction is required. Businesses should not rely on consumers to make up on tips what they should be paying their employees in the first place.
I think you and I would agree that guilting consumers and making them feel bad and uncomfortable by choosing not to tip, especially if there's a long line behind them, is not a great way for business retention. That customer is less likely to return. So this whole tipping fatigue could backfire in the long run. It could specifically hurt those employees who rely mainly on tipping for income, and rightfully so, like bartenders, waiters, concierge staff. The reality is, if you spend more money on tips just because you're being asked for it more frequently, it makes it less likely for you to properly tip those who rely mostly on them for income. How about you? Leave me a comment below with where do you live, and let us know how the tipping culture is evolving around you. And as always, I appreciate you guys liking this video and subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.